Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, huge thank you to Mr. Serotonin here for sending over us a rank 4 6-star Namor gameplay. And he did it via Avizone. That is an amazing messaging and file transfer service, and also the best way how you can submit your own gameplay of some interesting new or unseen rank 4 champions. Or even if I have showcased these rank 4 champions, if you do think that you have video clips that highlight these champions amazingly and in the best light, then definitely send over those clips to me, reach out to me. All the links and instructions are in the video description below. Definitely do not sleep on the chance to have your gameplay showcased on the channel. But let's get back to it. So, we have a rank 4 Namor, and there will be edits in this video. So, this video is actually not going to be the longest in itself, but we will get some interesting fights, including Grandmaster's Gauntlet Terrax solo. So, the first one here is evidently just against Winter Soldier. One of the kind of more ironic things is, as a mutant character, Namor actually doesn't like to be a Horseman of Apocalypse, because then you typically get better procs on your bleeds and you get your outrage charges slower. So, Namor is one of those very few champions that don't want extra ability accuracy. I figured it is just interesting to point out. But now with 1 Fury, he already has like 11k light crits. Now he's going to go for the second level 2, which is typically the ideal rotation that you want to accomplish with Namor. And then he goes for nice 110 and 220k crit there and finishing that Winter Soldier off. I would have liked to see how much would be that medium crit damage, but we didn't. It's all good though. Also, just a quick reminder, obviously Namor is an excellent champion to deal with Icarus node, because you just kind of like throw back all the degeneration damage to your opponent and basically just enjoy unlimited amounts, well, not unlimited, but large amounts of Furies freely. And this is also going to be seemingly the Icarus Omega Red boss, which yet again incorporates one of the cooler aspects and about Namor's ability. Obviously the main aspect about Namor's ability, that you can throw all types of damage back to the opponent as long as you are being aggressive and striking them, and that includes the spore damage from Deathfield and this degeneration damage from Icarus at the same time. Again, as I said, you do need to be aggressive, and opponents throwing special attacks or having to bait out opponent special attacks can put kind of like some trouble in your direction. But nonetheless, here you can see that he's surviving long enough to completely nuke down that Omega Red. And here we have 6.33 Havoc. Now, it interestingly said attempt, however, that does not mean, well, I mean, it's unsure whether it is going to be a solo, but another one of those instances where you can be aggressive against Havoc, and as long as you are striking Havoc when your plasmas would detonate, you are actually forcing all the damage on Havoc, which obviously, you know, is just an extra source of damage to you. Again, it does require some good timing, so you need to be aggressive in order to be able to pull this off. So it's not necessarily the most reliable thing. As we see here, he got hit a bit, and during that time, the plasmas detonated, and now he just have to go in for a nuke. So it doesn't look like it is going to be a solo, but nonetheless still a valid option even with a lower ranked champion. And here, well, Havoc luckily doesn't throw his special 3 immediately, and with that Fury, obviously he did manage actually to get that Havoc down to 26%, so it's definitely not a horrible attempt. 746 Smorgasbord. I actually have forgotten exactly what Smorgasbord does. Oh, it's the, now I remember. It's basically the Venom Pool node where you need to keep stacking debuffs on the opponent, and opponent shrugs off all the debuffs basically immediately. But for every, as long as you have had 10 or 15 debuffs, once the timer expires, I think it's like 12 debuffs to be exact, then they take a degeneration. Otherwise, they get a massive regen. And there's also Foresight involved in this fight, which obviously does increase your damage output. So it is actually, it has been a while since I have seen Namor in action, because unfortunately Namor does seem to have suffered from, you know, some of the other champion releases. And here we can see that Hercules actually getting that massive heal because not enough debuffs got placed on him. But at the same time, I am quite convinced that we are going to see a relatively decent nuke here, because at this point he was at 28 charges, so he's going to get his first Fury. And again, to go in that standard Namor cycle, he throws the second special 3. And obviously, as soon as 2 special 3s have been thrown, his special attack damage is absolutely insane. As we saw before in that Winter Soldier video, there was like 220k crit with like 2 Furies active. So that can result in absolutely massive amounts of damage. But here he just has to wait out the Hercules' immortality. And now let's see what he has in store for us next. And that is going to be Gauntlet Terrax. And Namor was kind of like the OG counter to this fight. If you didn't have Quake, then Namor was by far the best option. Right now, again, I do believe that Kitty does this fight about as well, if not better. But Terrax obviously is also a great option here. And you basically just need to stay aggressive, reflect all that incoming damage back, and you can see that Terrax is actually the one taking all of that damage. And that's about it. Also, because having Rockfield active makes Terrax extra aggressive, it does make it easier for you to keep on intercepting him. And obviously there's absolutely nothing stopping you from throwing special attacks, increasing your damage further. And then if you do have willpower, also benefiting from willpower heal quite easily. Now, at some points, you do need to let that power expire, like it had expired basically just now, because eventually that Rockfield drains power too quickly for you to keep on hitting him fast enough to make sure that the Rockfield never goes down. But as we saw, that one cycle there pretty much nuked him down. He was like left at 20-some%. He did make a mistake here, but seemingly Heimdall kind of saved him. Otherwise, it was like a bit of a slip up. But we can see here how quickly he's actually regaining his health now because of those armor break debuffs, because of that poison debuff, and all the damage from poison gets redirected to Terrax. Now he's at like 41% immediately from like having been down to as low as 19%. So that's one of the cooler things that I do like about Namor, is that he's one of those champions that has access to basically persistent and constant healing from Liquid Courage Double-Edged Masteries. Now again, objectively about Namor, I do kind of feel that Namor is getting phased out because we have a lot of champions who do not necessarily have the same abilities, but who do the same fights in many aspects. Sometimes it's being replaced by Kitty. You do not reflect the damage back to the opponent, but you just don't take any damage while you're phasing. Then you have Hercules, who just is immortal and doesn't care what type of damage you are taking, so on and so forth. But at the same time, it is very important to remember these characters for what they are and for how they are in the game, because each of them is unique, and there are fights, you know, that Namor can do that perhaps some of these options individually couldn't do. Therefore, whilst I personally have seen Namor's value decline and his popularity somewhat decline as well, because he's not in top 5 prestige anymore, I still think Namor is an awesome champion. And props to Mr. Serotonin for ranking him up. Either way, let me know what you guys thought about the gameplay. Do not forget that if you want to send your own clips, check the video description and pinned comment, and you will find a link to Evzone and an email address by which you can contact me. Right, that is about it, and I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the